Right, stable chat. Today, a little bit of a different one. I'm here on location at Harkaway Lodge. Janelle Bunfield, firstly, welcome.
Thank you.
I always go to the rose first. Yeah. We don't worry about the thorns. We don't worry about that as well.
About the rose, just the boss.
And Brett Bunfield, firstly, thank you for inviting me here and having me here. It's an amazing little setup you guys have got. You must be, wrapped in it, and very excited to showcase a little bit of it off.
Thanks, Paul. If it wasn't quite so muddy, it'd be a bit nicer at the moment. But yeah, no, we're very proud of what we've done. So hopefully we can just keep improving things as we go. But at this stage, I think we've probably got everything we need, just the fast horses to take advantage of what we've got at the moment, I think.
Now, Janelle, before we go too far, it sounds like a horse kicking in the background. The boys are playing cricket, and that's all we have to worry about. So anyone hears a bang, it's not a horse that's caught or cast or anything like that. It's just the two young fellas.
It's just the two young fellas, Harry and Blake.
So you've got two boys?
Yep.
As well, so yeah, it's a bit of a juggling act, I would imagine. You also work full time?
I do, yeah. I work at Greater Shepparton City Council, and I've been there 12 years.
Yep.
So yeah, do that full time.
And you guys have been here for 10 years?
About 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah, yep. 14 years. So it was just a dairy when we moved in. The house was probably half what the house is now. Used to be an old dairy over the back, which the roof blew off a couple of years ago when we were down at Melbourne one night. So it's been demolished and sort of made a bit more of a mess over there, but that was all that was here. The rest of it was just cattle paddocks, more or less.
Now, I must say this has been proudly brought to you by Kelly Partners in Melbourne, Paul Dobson and Dylan Barry, who proudly actually bring this to you. They are great supporters of Campbells Guidance. And Dobbo, just in case you're wondering, I do actually have the shirt on, but it's a little bit fresh here, mate, so I've gone for the vest. We might have to update our wardrobe and go from there, because it is a bit fresh, winter time, but in the Goulburn Valley, the climate's a lot better than what I suppose the rest of Australia are experiencing. That's one plus for being here.
Yeah, it is. Like we certainly do get a frost, but we're both originally from Canberra, so...
cold here's nothing.
Yeah, like we might get a -1 or 2 maybe, but I used to ride my bike to school in -5 or 6 in Canberra, so it's balmy here most times.
Balmy, completely balmy. Rightio. Firstly, training-wise, how would you, I suppose, phrase is a better word instead of phase, yourselves as trainers? Obviously, professional you are as far as an A-grade trainer, Brett, but do you want to train a lot of horses, or do you want to rehab a lot of horses, because you've got some great little facilities here, or pre-trained? Is there a way in which you guys want to, I suppose, people to be know the way you operate?
I think we've probably changed a bit, Paul, in the last few years especially. Like we used to just train. That's what we did. We used to train horses, take them to the races and try and win as much as we could. But since we've put the water walker in, we've sort of just easing away from that, I suppose you could say. I mean, I'm not going to knock a racehorse back if someone wants to send one, but we're probably more going towards that pre-training type of setup, and the rehab, as you said, with the water walker, we've got the facilities to look after those bad jointed, bad legged horses. So, yeah, probably just leaning a bit more towards those.
Is that a little bit, you say about the water walker, and don't panic everyone, we are definitely going to show you the water walker and everything else you guys have, but it's not the normal way I go about it, a stable chat, but it's one of those ones, Janelle, you might answer. The burden of having racehorses and having to go to meetings, if there's a race at Terangs and those sort of places, sometimes you have to do it. Whereas the rehab and the pre-training with a young family, is that one of the reasons it's a little bit easier to probably go the direction in which you're probably heading?
I think so. It probably allows us to also be parents. Back when we had Gordon Banks and Mark Hanover's horses, we were going to the races 2-3 times a week and trying to do the kids, and the ride was fun while we had it. Could we have done it long term? Probably not. I find at the minute it's a lot more satisfying doing the pre-trainers, and then to be able to go and see, those horses first up, whether they win or just be competitive, I get a lot more satisfaction out of that.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good way of looking at it, and mental health is one thing that, like I'm big on for all participants, and making sure everyone is okay, and I think it's quite a unique, I can be honest, when I was coming in here, and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this and be like, I wasn't sure what to expect, and then when I'm here, I'm like, you guys have got it sussed actually. Like it's pretty cool the way you guys have set the place up, and it operates, and for a lifestyle. Like, I mean, school holidays and the kids are in there playing cricket, you can do that. If it was a racehorse, you might have one in the box next door. You know, you're ready for the races. They can't play that cricket. You can be that little bit more relaxed and laid back.
And look, I think the kids, having the kids do what they do around here, the horses learn to chill out. You know, we've had a few that even the water walker, you know, it desensitises them, but so do the kids. Yeah. Absolutely.
Rightio. We might as well go the water walker. I wasn't sure which way we'll go, but it's sensational. Brett, firstly, you'd have to be happy with it. How many horses does it have on it?
No, really happy, Paul. We can put 6 on at a time, which is enough for me most of the time being here by myself. So that's by the time I get 4 or 5 or 6 on and off, and the facilities to tie them up and stuff. So that's the number. And as you'll see on some of your footies, like if you put 6 horses in there, there's a lot of water moving. You put 1 in there, it's nowhere near it. The water doesn't move quite so much. But yeah, 6 is the number that goes on at a time. Generally, I just do 4, just so it make my life a bit easier. So it's a bit easier to get them in and out and get them back and away, and then get the next lot ready to go.
So we're in the Goulburn Valley, like a lot of people who aren't aware. Water is precious here. It's precious everywhere, but there is access to the water, and hence the reason for the damn colour of it. But a lot of it comes through channels and the likes. Concrete walls, concrete floor, but you've got sand underneath the bottom of it.
Yeah, the sand underneath, it's probably a 3 or 4 mil sort of pebbly sand. It's the same that Peter Clark had on the bottom of his. So ours is actually based on Peter Clark's.
People aren't aware Peter Clark.
Peter Clark is
most of Moody's, Peter Moody's horses, Black Caviar.
He's Black Caviar, yeah. You just say Peter Clark, Black Caviar.
Yep. And I think Lenny the Shark.
Yeah, Lenny, and Hector were there a lot of the time, for sure. So ours is exactly, close enough to exactly the same in dimensions. And Peter was a help to me when I first started doing it and first started trying to build it and get what we needed. And so he said, this is the sand I've got, this is where I get it from. So it's about, on the inside, it probably averages about 400 mil, 450 mil, and you get to the outside, it probably comes down to 200 mil. It's just the way the water pushes the sand. So it's thick, like it's hard work. When we pump the water out to clean it out, it's a workout just getting in and actually walking through it. So, and I think that's a big benefit to our water walker, is it's got the sand. I think some of the others, and I'm not saying they're not great water walkers like Luke's and Clayton and Emma's possibly, but they don't have the sand. They've only got like a rubberised floor or a harder floor. Yeah. Well, ours is just it's different.
It is, and you get the whirlpool effect.
Yeah.
And then you stopped them and turned them, and if me video editing is as good as what it looked like when I did it, the wave, like that first horse, when he turned and starts walking back, it's like he's going into a wave, and they all really work. They don't float, they actually are striding and really pushing out through it.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that was my sort of, when we first looked into it, and I was talking to Peter about it, and I said, don't they just whirlpool and float? And he goes, that's why you turn them around.
Yeah.
He said it's that 45 seconds of turning back the other way that peaks their heart rate, and then they'll go 4 or 5 minutes again, just not cruising, but then you turn them back and go again, and they spike that heart rate again just for that 30-40 seconds. And that's where their real fitness comes from. Not all horses handle it, Paul. It's like anything, you know. They don't. It's not the be all and end all.
No.
But it's a great tool to have.
And one of the reasons we're here is because you guys are, open for taking other people's horses as well. So to be able to showcase what you have. I love how safe it is. You walk down a race and you open the gate. They walk out into the walker.
Yep.
Then when you take them off the walker, they just walk back into that race. Then you shut it, let the others keep going. That's Peter Clark's idea, I would imagine, or is that something that
Peter's is similar to that. We did sort of make our own entrance and exit, like the alleyway. I think ours is probably a bit longer, possibly, but it is very similar. But yeah, that's just the way we thought we wanted to do it. A nice long walk in, and then just not grab them at the bottom, because we tried that a bit and they weren't very happy with us trying to hook them or grab them.
Just let them walk up the race.
And that's the thing. Like when we first put them in the first few times they're here, we actually lead them around.
Yep.
Like we'll lead them, and Janelle and myself or whoever's here at the time will lead them and throw the rope to each other and let them walk and turn them, so they learn to turn with the gates.
Yep.
And then walk them out, so when that gate's open, they walk out.
Yeah, and they come up and they wait for the next gate.
Yeah.
That then leads on to the second part, and that's the swimming hole. They basically come straight out of the water walk, and then they go for a swim. So they get a little bit of everything, don't they? They
do, yeah. We've had the swimming pool in for probably 10 years, I reckon. And that was the original thing we put in. It's been changed a bit. Only in the last few months we've put the race in to get into the swimming pool. But it's their wash as much as anything. Like, it's a little bit more exercise, but they do get washed while they're in there. They clean the crap out of their tails, which they get in the walker, so that sort of cleans them out.
But it's a huge benefit in the summertime, when it's 36 degrees, drop them in, bring them out.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And it's hard to think because it is fresh here today. But
it'll be 45 soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to just quietly. But it just must be such a unique way. And we say about horses, and you say about David Aiken there before. You've got a couple here for Akey. You get other people. It'd be a great way of freshening up horses, especially through that summertime. We get them off tracks and just try and do a little bit different for them. It'd be ideal.
Yeah, exactly. And like when our great mate Gav was around, he would send 2 or 3, and they'd be here for 10 days. But they would race on a Saturday night at Melton, say, and we'd go and pick them up, or we'd meet him on the Sunday. They'd be here for 10 days, and he'd take them home, hobble them once, and race them 3 days later.
Yep. Yeah.
And once they got, like the first time maybe they weren't great, but after they've done it once or twice, they just come, they live in the paddock, and they just walk for half an hour every day or 40 minutes, whatever we wanted. And Gav would take them home and hobble them once, or go out, trot them, whatever they were, and they'd just go to the races, and then he didn't have to work them. He was happy then. And I think that's an ideal way to do them, and that's if they can get used to it and they know about it. And that was the same lot with Ake, would have been the same with Lenny and Hector. Yep. They would do a lot of their work there, and then Ake would go and grab them and do a little bit of work, and then they'd go back. Once they raced, they'd go back again.
Go back again and go from there. The shedding, and we've got to reiterate, the boys are playing cricket. Everyone can hear the screaming. They're not in pain. They're actually asking how is he, and there's only two of them too. As a father of one female, it's very noisy, but it's all good.
You should go in there and face Blake's left arm, as Paul.
No, thank you. There'll be more screaming than that. Don't worry about that. Purpose-built, petite stable area that must work really well. I mean, both for winter and summer. Like, it's all concreted. You got your cross ties. Easy access to everything. Your horse wash is just out the back. Just simple, easy way to get about things. Yeah,
look, we started out with just a 5 bay shed, 5 stables, and we used to do all our work up on the dairy. So wash, tie up, gear shed, feed shed, and then when that went, we've extended the existing shedding, and that works really well for us now. And can't complain. And you said about the 5 bay boxes. There's a few young ones in there at the minute, but again, in summertime, a good way for the older horses to escape some of the heat and get in there, because it's just they're very simple. But that's the best way, I think, of shedding. Yeah, and the rain doesn't get in there very far, and the southerly wind doesn't blow. Yep. Because they've just got that protection from there. So, I mean, they do get hot, but it doesn't matter where you are in the middle of summer. No, exactly. Your paddocks, I think they're terrific. To me, you look like you've got an outer fence around most of it, then you've got double gates that you can close them all off, and it's just 3 wire tapes for your fencing with shedding in there. There's some with shoulders, some going to have more shoulders. You can clearly see that. But simple, but again, easy. A nice wide laneway to go down and feed up. I would imagine gives you that bit more time back as a family. Like, you run out on the Kubota and tip your feeds in, and you're back in and finished. Yeah, so when we go inside, the boys come outside most of the time in the dark. But yeah, it is easy, and it's. I wouldn't say we sat down and planned it out massively, but we sort of knew what we wanted to do. It was just a matter of getting it done. So we had a bit of help. Pat Mellington comes out here a hell of a lot. He's not here at the moment. He's up in Mount Isa on holiday in the caravan, but he's out here a lot. He helped me with a lot of the fencing and the shelters, and he planted all the trees in the lane in between paddocks and stuff. So it is easy. Like, we can just drive down that one laneway, feed the horses on one side, feed them on the other side. Yeah, we're done.
and again, for the racehorses, we say about horses that are in boxes and all the rest, to be out there it'd be a lot more refreshing for them as well.
Yeah, look, and we've had a couple of gallopers who obviously have come from a boxed environment, and it does take them a little while to settle down. He's very quiet at the minute, Frank. Braylos Pass, he's out there at the minute, but the first couple of days he was here, you knew he was here, the Bellerin, but he's settled down, and I think just because it is so quiet and relaxing here, they chill.
Yeah, and I think that's key, and I think Braylos Pass is a good advert of horses here, because is he still a colt?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He's still a colt.
Do you want us to go and get him in?
No. I believe he's all fine. Mark will be watching this. He'll be happy where he is.
Oh, he's quiet. He says he's quiet. Yeah. Need earmuffs.
Well, spring weather will come.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'm a bit of a track Nazi, if you like. I don't mind the tracks, and quite often I'll take stock photo footage or some video footage, if you like, and we start talking about the tracks. And Brett came down, and I'm hoping this has worked, what we've done, but we've actually driven around your track. Firstly, it's not very wide, but for the amount of horses you guys work, it's wide enough. Yeah,
like there's normally only 2 at a time, and there's enough room for one to pull out, and we can rip up, like back when we had a few for Gav. Fastest horse I probably driven here was Lombo Pocket Money, and I remember pulling out at the 400 one day, and I didn't think I was going to take the last corner because we were humming. So look, it works for us. It works for us.
And Brett, you were saying that although they look tight, you don't have any troubles with horses getting around the track?
No, not really. Like up under that trees, Paul, it is a bit.
I like the trees.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping I've got the video timed at the right spot, because it is unique, but it must give, horses that are used to going around, say Bendigo trotting track or Shep trotting track day in, day out, all of a sudden they come around, they're like, oh, there's a few trees here.
Yeah.
And then it's open paddock again. They must really
and then there's rolls of hay for them to have a real good look at when they're going around. But, I mean, it's a nice track. We can certainly get them fit. It's nothing special, but it is what it is now.
Yeah, and it's got a good colouring of sand, and you like to keep it with heavy sand.
Generally, yep.
I think that pushes away from saying you can run a 26 quarter around your track to say you do a 30 quarter, and people go, is that all? And then and you're happy with that.
Yeah, like just say old Yerrington Bob, like he used to go to Melton every week. He wasn't much good, but he was a lovely old horse. But he would go and work one heat there during the week, and he'd probably work 3:22 galloping. 3:20, 3:22 gallop, and that's all he'd work.
Yeah.
And that's what even some of the better ones, they'll only go and work that. I don't think they need to work. They can work gallop 3:20 here and go to Shep and work 3:13, 3:12 with hobbles on. So that's just what we've sort of worked out, I reckon.
I love it. I think it's simple. One of the boys is watching us. He's not sure what's going on. He's over there. He's like, I don't think I want to come over. I honestly wasn't sure what I was expecting when I was coming here, and I was pleasantly blown away. You've got 100 acres. You've definitely got one mare in foal. Is that all the mares and foals we have?
Bro McDelmar's here as well, and she's in foal as well.
Yeah. Yep. But there's one pretty special one here.
Yeah, there is.
We might do something for Woodlands in a minute with her. But breeding wise, doesn't interest you guys too much?
Not really.
No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's very rewarding, and the mare we've got, that's been a very rewarding experience. But it just takes too long to get to the races, and that's that's probably the main reason. We're here. These facilities probably aren't for your yearlings.
Yep.
So yeah, we prefer the older ones.
The thing I like and impressed is when we're going around the track talking to Brett about which way you want to go and all the rest. The place is designed for simplistic, but being able to pretty much go down this rehab path that, like Brett said there before, you're more than happy to take on racehorses and horses for anyone. Yep. But as much as that, it's designed around rehabbing some horses, or even when I say rehabbing, just the head. Not necessarily the legs and joints. It's the head as much as anything.
And it's refreshing, and that's the thing. They can just come for a week, 10 days, 2-3 weeks, whatever, and they get off. And we're a bit the same. Some of ours, we actually trying to get them off our place.
Yep.
At the racehorse, you try and just say no, just go away for a month or 2 weeks, because we put a racehorse out. He's over the back there, 2-year-old galloper there. And if I put him in a paddock close to home, we used to stand at the gate.
Yep.
And that drives me insane. I think, mate, you've got 10 acres or 5 acres there, go and play, and he stands at the gate looking for me or waiting to be fed. I'd rather go. We've got a few people we know. We can just go and put it at their place and just get away. So I'm not looking at you. You're not looking at me.
Yeah, and just change it up.
Change it up, and that's what we can do for other people. You know, like they can say, oh, just come here,
change it up,
hang out in the paddock for a week or 10 days, 2 weeks, have a walk around. They don't lose fitness. They're ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people hopefully watch this video and they'll actually reach out to you. The cows. Who's the cow person?
Well, we started
the tax man. They're our tax. Whatever we need.
They're our savings, basically.
There's
when
actually
the market's
15 going today. They should be getting picked up today. Those steers you were videoing before, they'll go today.
Well, I better not put them on the footage. People might start crying. I was like,
no, they're only going to another farm across the road.
Oh, that's good. I don't mind cows. That's all. So yeah. But it's, as I said, Janelle works a full-time job. And then this is a full enough time job for yourself as well, Brett. But obviously trying to get that, reach out and get a few more horses. Yeah,
that's all. Like we don't want to work big numbers, Paul. Like between 10 and 15. If I had that many, that's especially for the walker. That's enough.
Yep.
If we get a few more that need going in the cart, well, we're probably got to keep the numbers down a little bit. But yeah, we just want to let people know that we actually are here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I said, I was pretty impressed. What's the phone number? Best way to get in touch with you is which is like you.
Don't ring Janelle. ring me 0402 147 887.
Yep. And we're located about 20 minutes shy of Shepparton. Anyone wants to know? 20 minutes shy of Shep, 20 minutes from Kyabram.
Yep.
About 30
between Tatura and Kyabram, yeah.
Yeah, and then about 35 minutes from Elmore. So I mean, people have a rough idea where we are. So it's
we're only 5 minutes off the Midland Highway.
Yeah, very simple to find and the like. So I must say thank you. As I said, Stable Chats are proudly brought to you by Kelly Partners, Paul Dobson and Dylan Barry. Make sure all your tax needs. You might go and buy some cows and the likes, but they'll look after you. And also in these COVID times, people experiencing hardship, make sure you reach out to the guys and they will definitely look after you. Janelle, Brett, thank you very much. Cricket season's over. Footy season started.
The footy's out now.
So we're right now. But thank you very much for inviting me. And I must say, anyone that's looking to get in touch with the guys, please reach out. I'll put the phone number down the bottom. Just broke a clip on one of your rugs. That's okay. But thank you very much for your time. This has been another Stable Chat. And thank you, guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers,
mate.